The sound of the front door slamming shut echoed throughout the mansion. Jason Thompson had just returned from a week-long business trip, ready to finally relax in the home he had worked so hard to build. He had no idea that the evening ahead would change everything. As he entered the grand foyer of his sprawling mansion, the silence in the air was deafening, far too quiet for a house that was supposed to be full of life. Something felt off. He took a deep breath, inhaling the familiar scent of lilies that his late wife had loved so much, but it was tainted with an unfamiliar heaviness. Jason froze as his eyes fell upon the figure standing in the middle of the marble hallway, his heart pounding in his chest. There, right in front of him, stood his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, dressed in a faded gray maid's uniform. The sight of her small, trembling frame in that uniform, mop clutched tightly in her hands, made his stomach churn. His precious daughter, the child of a billionaire, dressed as a servant in her own home. His gaze shot to the woman standing behind her, the woman he had married after the death of his first wife. Jessica, his so-called second chance at happiness. Her smile was cold, calculating. Her eyes locked with his, and for the first time, Jason felt the weight of the betrayal in her gaze. What is this? Jason's voice was barely above a whisper, thick with disbelief. Lily looked up at him, her large brown eyes filled with confusion and fear. Her tiny lips quivered, but she didn't say a word. She didn't need to. The tears welling up in her eyes spoke volumes. Jessica's smile didn't fade. She stepped forward, her heels clicking against the floor. "Oh, Jason, you're home early. It's nothing serious. Lily is just learning how to be responsible." Jason's anger bubbled up like molten lava. Responsible? Responsible for what? Why is she dressed like that? Jessica's voice was smooth, but her words dripped with venom. She's been spoiled for too long. It's time she learned that life isn't always about silk dresses and toys. She needs discipline. Jason felt his blood boil. Discipline? She's 8 years old, Jessica. She's a child. You made her wear that. Lily's small hands shook as she clutched the mop. She was a child, his child, yet here she was, treated like a servant in her own home, in front of the woman who was supposed to protect her, not torment her. Jason felt a rush of protective rage. He crossed the room in 3 long strides, kneeling down to his daughter's level. "Lily," he whispered, his heart breaking as he reached for her. "Why are you dressed like this, baby?" Her voice cracked as she whispered, "Daddy, I didn't want to, but Mommy told me to." Jason's breath hitched. "What did she do to you?" Lily shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't want to wear it. I just wanted Mommy. I miss her." The word struck Jason like a punch to the gut. He hadn't just lost his wife in an accident. Now, he was losing his daughter to the cruelty of the woman he had trusted with his heart. His gaze shifted to Jessica, whose smirk had faded, replaced by a mask of feigned innocence. "She's just helping out, Jason. You're overreacting. A little discipline won't hurt her." Jason's eyes widened in disbelief. "This is discipline? This is abuse. You're making her wear a maid's uniform in her own home. And you?" He turned to Jessica, his voice rising. "You slapped her? You humiliated her in front of guests? This is what you call discipline?" Jessica stepped back, her expression flickering with annoyance, but she quickly regained control. "You're being dramatic, Jason." Jason's pulse thundered in his ears. "You've broken her. She's a little girl, Jessica. You've taken everything from her." Lily clung to him, her small body trembling. "Daddy, please, don't yell," she sobbed. Jason closed his eyes, fighting back tears. His daughter was in pain, and it was his fault for not seeing it sooner. "I'm sorry, baby," he whispered. "I'm so sorry." Jessica's laughter rang out, mocking. "Jason, don't make a scene. You know she'll be fine. She's just learning how to be a part of this family." Jason felt his temper flare, his vision blurring with rage. He lifted Lily in his arms, cradling her close. "No, she's not your servant. She's my daughter, and you're going to stop treating her like this." Jessica's eyes flashed with anger, but Jason didn't care anymore. He was done. "Pack your things," he said flatly, his voice like ice. "You're leaving today." "You can't do this, Jason," Jessica snapped. "You can't throw me out. I love you." Jason took a step closer, his face inches from hers. "Love doesn't hurt children, Jessica. You've broken her. You've hurt her in ways I can't even begin to describe. You're not welcome in this house anymore." Jessica's face twisted in disbelief, but Jason turned his back to her, ignoring her pleas. "Pack your things and get out." Lily clung to him as he walked toward the living room. "Daddy, don't let her go," she begged, her small voice filled with terror. "I won't, baby. I promise," Jason whispered, kissing her forehead as he sat down with her on his lap. As Jessica gathered her belongings, Jason didn't take his eyes off his daughter. He couldn't. He had failed her, but he would fix it. He would make it right. The quiet hum of the security camera in the corner of the room caught his attention. Jason looked up, his eyes narrowing. He'd installed it after his wife's death, to make sure nothing happened to his family when he wasn't around. He reached for his phone, tapping the screen to pull up the footage. His eyes flicked to the screen, his hands tightening around his daughter. The footage played, showing Jessica's cruel treatment of Lily, the mocking tone she used, the slap across her face, the way she made her serve guests as if she were nothing more than a servant. The silence in the room was deafening as the footage continued, showing everything Jessica had done. Jason's jaw clenched. His anger was no longer just about Jessica's actions. It was about the fact that she thought she could get away with this, that she could break his daughter and destroy their family. When the footage ended, Jason stood slowly. He walked toward Jessica, his voice low and lethal. "You thought you could get away with this? You thought I wouldn't know? You made my daughter cry, Jessica. You humiliated her. And now you're going to pay for it." Jessica's face paled as the reality of what she had done settled in. "Jason, please. I didn't mean to." Jason cut her off, his voice harsh. "No more excuses. You're done. Get out." Jessica stared at him, the words frozen on her tongue. She had no more excuses left. She had lost everything. As she walked toward the door, dragging her suitcase behind her, Jason stood by the window, holding Lily in his arms. The house felt empty, but for the first time in a long time, it felt like they were finally free. Lily's voice was soft, almost a whisper. "Daddy, do you think Mommy can see us?" Jason swallowed hard, blinking back tears. "I think she's smiling right now, baby. Because her little girl is safe again." As the rain began to fall outside, washing away the remnants of the day's cruelty, Jason held Lily tightly. They were finally free. In the quiet of the mansion, the family portrait on the wall seemed to glow softly in the light, the smiles frozen in time. But this time, the smile wasn't fake. This time, it was real. They were whole again.